over Dartmouth. At times, it was not pretty, particularly on the offensive side of the ball, but we will get to that. Gavin Guidry slams the door, 3 2/3, shutout relief, punches out 5, does not walk anybody, gives up 1 hit, came in a leverage spot and responded absolutely perfectly like he's done for the majority of the year. I have some thoughts on Kason Evans. He got you into the 5th inning, really battled hard tonight. We will get into all of it and also hopefully take some of your questions. Y'all smash the like button, please, if you have not already. Please get subscribed. Musso at the Box YouTube channel and on your favorite podcast app. Please share as well, especially since we just had audio issues with the first stream. Please get this one out there so everybody knows that we are live and we are open and we are here to recap another LSU victory. Tigers improve to 9-1 overall on the season. Let's start with Kason Evans and his outing, shall we? Strikes the first hitter out on 3 straight fastballs, and you're thinking, okay, here we go. And from that point early in the game, he really struggled with fastball command, and that messed up a lot for him. That's what led to the 3 walks. He could not pitch off of that fastball. He could not throw it for strikes consistently, and it got him into a lot of trouble. The free passes need to stop, but we will credit Kason Evans because he battled hard and limited the damage, and ultimately that's what you want to see from him. In that second inning, when Dartmouth breaks through, that run scores with 2 outs. It is a little soft liner into, a little past the second baseman. You have Mason Braun in right field. If Jake Brown's at his normal spot, does he catch that? Maybe. It was not hit hard. Credit Kason Evans. That's a bummer that one, falls in for the hit and scores the run. But he comes back, gets the next hitter out, and escapes further damage there. You go to the 3rd inning for Evans. I should say both the 2nd and the 3rd started with leadoff walks, and that's what you have to eliminate from his game. Is pitching behind in the count. And again, it was, thank you, Mav. It's 5-2. I forgot about the last run there from Milam. But anyway, back to Evans. He has to work from ahead. This outing shows you that. So he walks the leadoff guy in the 2nd. He escapes further damage after allowing that soft liner to score him. In the 3rd, walks the leadoff guy again. Looks like he's going to kind of pitch around this. Gets an out. And then there's a pop fly to left field that drops in. Simpson was shaded more towards center. It was a very long run for him. Ultimately, it drops in. That scores the other run, but not hit hard. Neither of their RBIs were hit hard. What was great from Evans was that was the inning that really could have gotten away from him, because you had the error by Dardar at second base that extended it, and you ended up with 1st and 3rd and nobody out, and he goes punch out, the second punch out with runners at 2nd and 3rd. That is the spot this year for Kason Evans where you've seen the big hit, and that's something we've talked about, is not allowing the big hit, keeping the damage small. He did not give up a crooked number tonight. That is very encouraging. Now, that walk to lead off the 3rd was his last of the night, and the difference was he found command of the fastball and was really able to pitch off of it the rest of the way. Battles hard. He was at 69 pitches to start the 5th inning. He gets you through that one really efficiently, got you through the 4th on 11 pitches right after LSU had added a run. That was massive. So 11 pitch 4th, get the Tigers back to the plate. Ultimately, they couldn't, they couldn't respond there, but he dominant in the 5th again. He gets you into the 6th inning. He have another error by Dardar to lead things off. We're going to talk about that a little bit later on. He gets a strikeout, 1-1 count. He's at 88 pitches. Jay wants to stop the bleeding immediately right there and gets Guidry, and Guidry comes in and slams the door, and he's awesome for the rest of the way. Looking at Kason Evans, he did things well. The start has to be better. That's the thing. It's in there. Like, you can see it. 3 walks in the first 3 innings, none the rest of the way. He punched out 10 tonight. That's very good. You saw him land all of his pitches 4 strikes. It just, with the fastball, the command was off early. Once he had that, he really settled in. The starts have to be a little bit better. I will tell you what that kind of reminded me of a little bit tonight was Anthony Ianson early in the year, a year ago. Ianson would get off to slow starts and get stronger as the game went. That's what Kason Evans did. And eventually, Ianson settled into his role and was awesome from jump. And that's what you're hoping for Kason Evans. You're not making a change right now. That's not going to happen. I mean, when you, all in all, you look up at it, it ended up being a really, really good season. A really, really good outing. Really, really good outing for Kason Evans. You just have to get there a little quicker. You want it to be more dominant on Friday nights. I'm not going to disagree with that. I want it to be more dominant on Friday nights, but ultimately, he kept the team in the game, and they finally pushed together and rallied. At the plate tonight, it was not pretty for the majority of that baseball game. LSU had to get creative in ways that they scored runs in this ball game tonight, and they did. But, man, those at-bats early in the game were just not very competitive for LSU. Even when you had hit by pitches and free passes, they gave you 10 free passes tonight. You managed 5 runs. It was not a very condition-friendly night at the box. This was more of what we're used to in February, a chilly night with the wind blowing in from the north, and that's why all the pop flies were really, really disappointing. They were taking long swings and hitting the bottom of the baseball, and it was not resulting in success. You look at that 6th inning when they were finally able to take the lead. They manufacture the run in the 5th. Ultimately, you have a chance for a big hit. You can't get it. You get the 1. That was in the 4th. You go to the 6th when LSU's actually able to break through, and the at-bats got so much better from that point forward in the game. LSU is hitting things on a line. I mean, Braun grounds out to second base. Simpson walks. Caraway lines a ball that takes a late dive, gets past the shortstop. That's a single. Curiel then comes up with the at-bat of the night. 7 pitches, fouled off a couple tough ones with 2 strikes at the plate, and hits a line drive rocket. Into left field, down into the corner. You end up scoring 2. Very aggressive send by Josh the Windmill Jordan at third base for Caraway to score all the way from first, and it was a really accurate relay throw. It wasn't in time, but it was accurate. That was a risk that they took. Credit Caraway, who doesn't run great, runs fine, and you just go, you go from there, and LSU has the lead 3-2. They would add a couple more, 1 in the 7th, and then obviously 1 in the 8th. I thought LSU ran the bases extremely well tonight. That really stood out to me offensively, especially there in that 7th inning. The 8th inning, you look at that bunt. That's a classic spot to try to get the bunt down, get yourself an insurance run. Braun gets it down, but it's not great. It's on the fly all the way to the mound. The third baseman takes it. He did an absolutely horrible job. Looking back, Stephen Milam. And Milam took advantage of it and scored on that play. That was great base running. Jake Brown taking an extra 90 feet in late in the ball game as well. Ultimately, he was not able to score on that sac fly, but his base hit in the 8th before that on the play with Curiel. So Curiel bunts single in the 8th, and then Brown lines one to left field. Again, line drives. That's what you needed on a night like tonight. Just another example of the at-bats getting better late in the game. Curiel runs through a late stop sign by Josh Jordan. He's safe at the plate. The throw goes through, and Brown hustles and takes the extra 90. So I thought LSU was really aggressive on the base pass when they needed to be, and they were successful. It was a very it was an aggressiveness, but it wasn't a recklessness on the base pass for LSU tonight, and that really paid off on a night where the offense wasn't great. So that really stood out to me. But, man, overall it's a win, and there's a lot of positives to take from the win. you would like to see the lineup be a little bit better, and I think that they will be throughout the rest of the weekend. It was great to see Curiel come up with the big swing there in the sixth inning, but when I look forward to tomorrow, and I want to come back to Gavin Guidry, but when I look forward to tomorrow, one lineup change I'm going to be really interested to see is if you have a new starting second baseman. That was not good from Seth Dartard defensively tonight. There's really just no other way around it. Those were two routine plays that he has made this year, and he flubbed them both. And didn't even really have a chance to make a throw on either of them, and that's the disappointing part. Ultimately, you were able to pitch around the second one, but that's costly, man, because that extended an inning early for Kason Evans, and I really think without that, Evans might end up getting through that sixth inning. That extended things on him there, and there was also a wild pitch that I thought Aaron Beatty could have come up with in that inning as well, but the defense really let Kason Evans down at times tonight. But we'll see there. I think you could be looking at Tanner Reeves potentially at second base. Don't sleep on maybe a start for Jack Rucker there. He's your best defender at that position, but the bat still has to come along. But I think we're going to learn how much Jay really trusts Dartard at second base. If he sticks with him, that shows you something. If there's a change, that competition is reopened. If he does end up not starting at second base, I would expect to still see his bat in the lineup potentially at DH. The other thing with the lineup tomorrow that I'm looking forward to, I really kind of need you to go back to your normal outfield. It just did not look very clean with Mason Braun and Braden Simpson out there. I understand Stanfield's not available this weekend. That's fine. Simpson can stay. I want Brown back in right, and I want Curiel back in center. We mentioned the little soft liner early in the game. I wonder if Jake Brown comes up with that. There's no guarantee that he does. That's all hypothetical. But I do wonder if he is able to. He's one of the fastest players on the team. He gets a very good jump on the ball. Braun looked like he was kind of tripping over himself at times in the outfield. He made the catches, but they weren't necessarily clean. It didn't look natural to him, which, not a surprise. He's a first baseman. And then Braden Simpson, late in the game, almost dropped a pop-up off the heel of his glove. So I thought the outfield defense was very adventurous tonight too. That was one of the things we talked about in the preview. LSU has got to be fundamentally sound this weekend, and they weren't tonight, but they were able to escape because Gavin Guidry's a dog. And let's go back to that. Gavin Guidry was awesome. He almost had an immaculate inning in the ninth. Like, he was pacing for that. He struck out the first two guys on 6 pitches. He was awesome. And you saw 4 pitches from strikes for him again. The fastball got up to 94. That little cutter he's got, that's an 88, 87. Like, that's become a weapon for him. Both breaking balls were good. I mean, we know the slider's a hammer, but he has just come in and pounded the zone time and time again this season. He has been remarkable. Again, 3 2/3 shutout, 1 hit, and didn't walk anybody and punched out 5. He was miraculous. He has been every bit the boost that I thought he would be to LSU's bullpen, and I loved the spot that Jay Johnson went and put him in. As much as I would have loved to have seen Kason Evans try to work out of that in the 6th and get through 6 innings, he was coming up on 90 pitches, and man, there just hadn't been much going for you at the plate. You needed to go slam the door right there. Jay made a great call, went to Guidry, and Guidry responded like the veteran that he is, that he should. He was excellent tonight on the bump for LSU. How about some of the pitchers from Dartmouth, man? It wasn't the they definitely gave LSU plenty of opportunities, and LSU wasn't taking advantage of, so I don't want to give them too much credit, but the stuff was good. We talked about that coming into this weekend, that you were going to see some pretty lively stuff from these pitchers from Dartmouth and Northeastern. I mean, that's the starter. Parksy was up to 93. He didn't hold the velocity very well deep into his outing, but early in the game, he was 93, and that breaking ball was in the low 80s. Like, that tracks. Sonora, the guy they brought in right out of the bullpen, he was into the low 90s. So, I mean, you saw some pretty good stuff. It's a good win for LSU tonight. They overcame adversity. They didn't have their best stuff at the plate. And on a chilly night that's not conducive to offense, they were able to score. Now, that being said, the at-bats need to improve the rest of the weekend. This is not a powerful team. We know that, okay? Like, they're not. hard, not far is going to be their key. And if you focus on that, because you are strong, you'll run into a few. But line drives and doubles needs to be the theme for this team. And if you stay with that approach, again, you'll run into some, and they'll go out of the ballpark. Okay, questions, comments, concerns, smash the like button, please, if you have not already. Follow on social media. That's greatly appreciated. And please share. Let's see. Chow Time says he likes what he's seen from Simpson lately at the plate, even with Stanley coming back. I feel like he has earned an opportunity. What you think? Simpson at second. Yeah, sure. I'm here. He's an option tomorrow too at second base if you want to go that way. If you don't want to put Dardar back out there, but then that probably puts Reeves back out in the outfield, which I don't love. If Reeves is going to play, I'd rather him play on the infield at second base. But yes, Simpson's at bats have been very good this year, and he's only officially had 11 of them on the season. He's really walked a lot. He had 3 walks tonight after a single. He had LSU's first hit of the night. He's hitting .455. Please give me more. Give me more Braden Simpson. I think he's a big key. I'd like to see more John Pearson too. Pearson comes in to pinch hit for Dardar. He earns a 4-pitch walk. I'm here for that. I'd like to see more of that too. Let's see. Fred Seaburn says, do you like Dardar over Braun at DH if you take Dardar out at second base? I like Braun. I like them both. Like, that's the thing. I like them both. You're just going to have to play matchups and figure out there. I'm good with Braun at DH. I'm good with Dardar at DH. I am fine with any of those guys. Let's see. Brock says, let me know if you disagree, Musso. I understand how valuable it is to have that guy in your bullpen, but can we please at least test the waters with Guidry as a starter? He's too dominant to ignore. What does Jay Johnson always say? One of his best pitchers is always going to pitch out of the bullpen. And the question is, whose spot do you give him in the starting rotation? And I know your answer is probably going to be Case and Evans, but it's hard to ignore the back half of that outing from Case and Evans tonight. You need more strikes early. You need better command early in the game. But it's in there for Case and Evans. And I really like Guidry. I like his moxie. I like his attitude. His mindset, to me, fits better out of the bullpen. He comes in there with a bleep you energy and shuts things down. I like he's able to extend a little bit more, but is Gavin Guidry going to get you 5? I don't know. I like him better in the bullpen, right now. Let's see. Justin Hunt says the Stanfield situation is feeling very, very similar to Guidry. He's making progress, guys. Like, he's gripping a bat now. Swelling had to go down. It's pain tolerance. Jay talked about this. I think you'll see Chris Stanfield next weekend. I really do. I think that's their target. But there's just no reason to rush him back right now. You're doing fine. Jay's been more forthcoming with that injury than he has really over everything, to be quite honest with you. Okay, let's see. Give me a few more here, guys. Randall says, how good is Vanderbilt? We're not there yet, Randall. I have not watched a full Vanderbilt game, so we are not we are not there. Chow Time, Musso, how good does it feel to watch Guidry dominate after the narrative last year? It feels damn good, because that narrative was ridiculous. It was so stupid. The narrative surrounding his career in general, that he hasn't been dominant and good, is ridiculous. Like, if he was able to pitch last year, this is what would have happened. You saw him in the fall, and the ball was coming out of his hand just like this, and it was this offseason too. Clay Carroll says, $2 super chat, Curiel status, he's fine. Did he look hobbled to anybody tonight? Jay's just trying something. He's tinkering. Curiel scored from first on Brown's double and ran straight through a stop sign at full speed. He's good. Like, he hit the ball hard 3 times, had 1 double to show for it, and ran his ass off around the bases. He's good. I think they were literally just trying something. Jay probably had that lineup written down, liked it in this game with the matchup, wanted to get those guys in the lineup, and said this is a great time to try it. So he's good. But I think Curiel's fine. I really do. Will says, thoughts on shaking up the lineup order? Feels like the timely hitting. Yeah, no, sure. That's what we talked about a little bit earlier, Will. I think you can get some different guys in there. Of course, he shook it up tonight. I mean, you had Simpson, Braun, Dardar, Curiel, Brown. Like, you had all those guys in there and in a little bit of a different order. It just didn't work. But yeah, I think you could switch up the top of it a little bit, but just kind of get some guys in a couple new positions. But I don't know if I'd change it drastically right now this early in the season, but I'm not Jay Johnson. We'll see. We will see what he does. Let's see. All righty. Any more questions, comments, concerns? Got about a few more minutes that I'm willing to stand here. Parker G says, Jay doesn't do that sleep thing. No, Jay's probably going to go home, have some orange juice, and think about this. Edward O says, who will be the ace come SEC play? We'll find out. Like, I don't think we know that yet. They're going to keep working through this. The Ferg says, you were interviewing Jay Johnson. What would be your first 3 questions off the top of your head? I can't answer that. I prep interviews, so I don't know. I mean, Mitchell Kyle says, any concern about the sleepy bats? I wouldn't say concern. I'm interested. That's what we were kind of just talking about. Maybe mix up the lineup order, not the guys in it, but switch up the order a little bit. Get some guys different looks that way. Concern's not the right word. I'm not really concerned about anything 10 games into the season. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, and they're going to have some ups. They're going to have some downs, but they're going to win a lot of games. This is a good team. So concern is not the right word. Am I a little surprised to see them not have great success tonight? I am. But again, it's probably about 60 degrees outside right now, and the wind was blowing in from the north pretty briskly all night. It was not it was a very February night at the box, not conducive to offense, and LSU got outside of themselves at the plate plenty tonight. They just did. I didn't think Cade Arambides' at-bats were very good at all, except for the last one. The last one was good. He worked a count, was down 0-2, worked it back full, and moved the runner. So I think they'll be fine there. I really do. I think that they will be fine, and I expect a much better performance offensively from them tomorrow against Northeastern. Okie doke. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up. Y'all smash the like button. Please share if you have not already. Follow on social media. That's greatly appreciated. And be here next time for more on Moose at the Box.